Hello, good people. Hi, I'm Jason with greencountryagroforestry, and the video you're about to watch is an excerpt taken from a live stream which aired on January the 20th, 2021, entitled The Tao of Woodland Gardening. And it consists primarily of a series of short clips describing ways that you can maximize the efficiency of your time, the space that you have available, and the other resources that you have available to you on your farm, homestead, or garden. The entire video is filled with useful information, although it is somewhat long. So I figured it would be nice to give you a preview of what is available in this particular live stream, should you choose to click on it and watch it at your convenience, of course. During the course of the live stream, I had intended on including a brief demonstration of the very first basic lesson in Qigong, but due to some time constraints as well as not really being part of the gardening topic, I decided not to include it in the live stream. But for those of you that have channel memberships, you'll find that that particular exercise is now available to view in members-only videos. Just from, you see, you've got this man walking along the sidewalk here. The sidewalk connects to the street over there. There's some buildings, probably some things happening. There's, I think, a bicycle or something off over here. This is a little green space, right? But you can see what's happening here. There's a dirt track. People are walking through and they're not going down the sidewalk and around this way. No, they're taking the shortest path. They're going straight across, right? This is the most energy efficient way for them to travel across the space. So they take this track instead. But the designers, they put the walkway here. All right. So this brings us back to observation again as we see how energy, water, and various other elements move through the system and interact with each other. The paths that animals and humans take to interact with the elements of the site will suggest the ideal places to lay paths. I can't talk. Planners at the University of Michigan, for example, chose not to lay sidewalks. Instead, they let the students and the faculty establish the routes that they were preferring to take when traveling about the campus, which is a more efficient use of resources. Design the pathways and then try to fit the elements into the pattern or permit the natural flow of energy through the site and inform you where major elements should be. And then design the paths afterwards. Another example of designing from the general to the specific might be placing elements that will require a lot of daily attention along those pathways. So you know you're going to be walking up to where that irrigation pond is every day, right? Well, why don't you, just as a thought, along that pathway, plant some daylilies or asparagus and strawberries. Those all along that pathway. You have to go and harvest those daily. You're going to be going by and harvesting those daily. Well, you may as well put that into that system where you're going to be walking anyway. For years now, I've been saying don't spend the effort to do one thing if you can do two or more things at the same time. This is an example of the fifth principle of conservation of energy. In permaculture terms, this equates to stacking functions. What's a good example of this? Well, I personally like the idea of planting Dutch white clover in all walkways. As a ground cover layer, it helps prevent soil loss to erosion. It maintains and extends mycorrhizal associations with plants on either side of the walkway. It looks attractive and feels nice on the feet, especially if you're walking barefoot. Forms associations with beneficial microbiome to form nitrogen nodules on its roots that drop off as the above ground foliage is disturbed by walking on it, for example, thus fertilizing the adjacent plants. Its flowers, in addition to being edible themselves, are also attractive to pollinators. Errant rabbits would prefer to eat it rather than most of your vegetables. It can be cut back to provide an additional boost of nitrogen for composting. Or it uses as fodder graze for most animals, grows reasonably well in the shade, so it outcompetes most grasses there. And as a perennial, I only have to establish it once. That's a whole bunch of functions being conducted by one little element that you can plug in. A nice green clover walkway growing in the shade. Every time you walk around, you're fertilizing. Just walking through your garden, you're fertilizing. So on your way up to the water catchment to release a little irrigation water to your crops, you can bring your basket along with you to harvest some fresh vegetables. From the side of your clover-covered walkway, stop for a moment to pull up your chicken tractor just a little bit further down the slope. Turn the valve to release the water. It has the fish dung in it to both water and fertilize your crops. Downslope, check the passive fish trap that you have set up there. Take the biggest fish or two out of there. They're in there. Turn the rest of them loose in the pond again. Close the valve. Walk down the slope towards the chicken tractor, gathering more fresh veggies as you go. Collect the eggs. Toss some extra fodder in for the birds. Finish your walk back to the house with a day's worth of food and all of that work done. Now that's conservation adventure. That's efficiency. That's stacking functions. That's permaculture. So now, who wants to see a visual demonstration of what swales and key lines look like? Since that was actually the question that Paul had at the very beginning of last week. Well, that's all I've got for you today, good people. As always, if you found the video informative or entertaining, you know what to do. I will catch you